Now, I would just like to share with you some of the artwork of students from Public School 75 under the direction of Miss Pamela Lawton, an artist in residence. Here we have a portrait of Duke Ellington. And this portrait in charcoal is by a fourth grader, Jesus Bermudez. Let me tell you a little about Duke Ellington. When Edgar Ellington was a young child, his parents saw that he was a talented piano player. They made sure that he had the musical training. Edward Ellington has made the music world richer by his ability. Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to Poetry Just for You. I brought along a little friend. Can you guess who she is? Well, I'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Have you guessed who she is? Certainly you have. This is Little Red Riding Hood. Yes? And in Spanish, she is called La Caperucita Roja. Yes? And Little Red Riding Hood had quite a story. As you know, she was sent to visit her grandmother. And grandmother is Abuela. And she had a little basket, and in her basket she had many candies or dulces for her grandmother. And basket is called canasta, and the sweets are called dulces. And what happened to her? Well, she met a wolf. Yes. And in Spanish, the wolf is called lobo. And she told the wolf all of her business. And what do you think he did? Well, he went to grandmother's house. That is Little Red Riding Hood's Abuela's house. And there he dressed just like Grandmama. Just a minute, and then I'll come right back. Yes, here is the wolf, and he's dressed just like Grandmama. And what did she say to him? She wanted to know, Little Red Riding Hood wanted to know, why did he have such big eyes? She just couldn't remember that Grandma had such big eyes. And he said, "It is better to see you." And she said, "But Grandmother, why do you have such a big nose?" And he said, "Better to smell you, my dear." And then she asked, "But why do you have such a big mouth, Grandmother?" And at that point, he ate poor Little Red Riding Hood. Fortunately, there was a man, and in Spanish we'd say an hombre, and he was coming through the woods, and he was able to cut open the wolf, and inside, can you guess who he found? Just a minute, and I'll tell you. Inside, he found Little Red Riding Hood's Abuela. And can you guess who he also found? Well, 1, 2, 3. Well, it must be Little Red Riding Hood. And she learned that she should not talk to strangers, especially tell all of her business to a strange person. and she should follow directions. Well, this little story inspired other stories, and we also had the story of Cinderella, which inspired the next two stories by Vanessa and Clarissa. They are in Miss Vasquez's class. Would you like to hear their stories? Their modern Cinderella stories? Well, if you wait 1 second, I'll get them just for you. Here, Little Red. Here is Vanessa's story of Melissa. Love is Great by Vanessa. Once upon a time, there was a girl called Melissa. She lived with her aunt and her cousin, Michelle. "Melissa, I want you to scrub the windows and sweep the floor," her aunt yelled. Melissa said, If I only had some help." "You're saying to my daughter to help you? Ha, 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 ha. You wish my daughter will help you?" Amy said in an angry way. "Melissa, go get the door," Michelle yelled, and Melissa ran to the door in such a hurry. It was a woman. She said, "Hi, my name is Jessica. I'm here to tell you that the prince wants young ladies to come to a party tomorrow night." And Melissa's aunt came and said, "We would love to." So then Jessica left. When Jessica left, Annie said, "Melissa, you have work to do. You're going to work through the night to make your cousin's dress." And the time has come to go to the party, and Melissa said, "Auntie, could I make a dress for me?" And her aunt said in a kind way, "Well, yes, because I don't want you to have a bad time here. When you finish scrubbing the windows and sweeping the floor, you may go to work." Well, Melissa lives in the attic, and she ran upstairs crying. When Annie and Michelle left, there was knocking on the door. Melissa ran downstairs. It was a handsome young man. Melissa was very happy. They fell in love. His name was Joseph, and they got married and had 2 children, 2 girls. And that's the end of Vanessa's story. I hope you liked that story. That's a terrific story of Melissa by Vanessa. The next Melissa story is by Clarissa Rodriguez, and she's an interesting cover. It's a love story. Melissa must do all the work for her grandmother. She asked her good grandmother, who was very busy, if she could visit Aunt Lisa. "I've come for help," she said. "I'm busy." She made a beautiful gown using grandmother's dress, sewed the dress, and when she finished, she decorated with flowers. She took a shower, and she put on a t-shirt, and then she put on the dress and makeup and perfume. She called a taxi and went to the ball. Melissa saw the man she had always loved. Then her dream came true. They ran off that night, and later they got married and had kids and built a house. "Goodbye, grandmother," they said. And that's Clarissa's lovely little story. I hope you like to write stories in school, and perhaps you can even write stories at home. Just think of the story of Cinderella and bring it up to date. I'm sure you'll have fun writing and illustrating it. And now we'll take a